Welcome back to one of my favorite sports podcasts, Frizz and the Grizz, with your host Trudeau and my guy, D Frizzy Frizz.
Hello and welcome back to Frizz in the Grizz. It's your boy Trudeau. Thank you for joining us live Monday, June 30th. Catch us live on Twitch or Facebook and even YouTube. Preferred method is Twitch. Go to that platform, look up the username at dfrizzy_frizz5. Give that a follow. If you're watching us just live and missed part of the show, check us next day on podcast, Apple, Spotify. Definitely check out Spotify. You can watch the video back, which is a really cool option. D, this is my favorite time of the year. One of my favorite times of the year, that is. I love the free agent movements, the trades in the NBA, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Great time to podcast because free agency officially kicked off today, this afternoon. So we have updates going on live as we're recording. So we're going to get some live reactions, all the news and information you need right here. But first, D, what it do?
What up? What up? What up? Happy Monday, man. Busy day. Busy Monday. Like, I guess let me get this on my chest. So, like, I got a problem with something real quick. Do you feel like you don't get as much information from Shams as you do from
Woj?
Woj? Yeah.
You know, I think the deal is now that Shams has no competition. There's no one pushing him to reach his A game, right? It's just Shams now.
Yeah.
Shams versus Woj.
I get like updates from like ESPN before I get an update from Woj. And I mean from Shams. I'm like, all right, that's like I would joke all the time on this show, like, yo, hold on, Woj just text me. Or like, I say that about Shefty with football, but like I feel like I get 3 or 4 notifications from like ESPN, Bleacher Report, some other post, and then Shams. I'm like, yo, man, get on your shit. Like, you're supposed to be the guy that's breaking all this stuff 20 minutes before it happens.
Yeah, even during the NBA draft, which we'll talk about at the end of the show.
Yep.
Like back in the day, Shams and Woj would be breaking the picks before they were announced on TV. Not this year.
Yeah, you have to you had to stay off social media. Now I'm just like, oh, I get the notification, I go look, and then like they've already talked about it like for the last 20 minutes on ESPN.
Yeah, and no one's pushing Shams. He's on easy mode now.
He's on the 2K mode where he's got no NBA Live as competition, so he's dragging ass.
D,
that could be
there. That could be you next. You want to be the next newsbreaker?
I might have to be. I might think about that as a career path change.
But I shit you not, this is one of my most favorite times of the year because there's just so much going on, so many machinations of team building and roster construction occurring. Some of these teams, and I don't think this year's gonna be too crazy because the salary cap availability is pretty low across the NBA, unless you're the Nets. But it does make for some really interesting nuggets of news within a really small time period. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I'm ready to go break all this information down.
Do you want to jump right into some of the news?
Let's go right into free agency.
Let's open this up by talking about the news that we talked about or just got word of right before we jumped off on the air tonight. The Denver Nuggets making the Michael Porter Jr. trade. So Michael Porter Jr. goes from the Nuggets to to the Brooklyn Nets for Cam Thomas, Cam Johnson, excuse me. That's other Cam Thomas, and a first round 2031 unprotected first round pick. I'm just gonna say this: I love it for both teams.
Yeah, I love it more for Denver because you saw the tail end of Michael Porter. We saw his peak when they were going for the championship run, 22 points a game, 0 assists, 0 rebounds. Like, we saw that as his peak. And since that finals, he's been on the decline. So although you give up a first rounder while you have Jokic on your team, you're not going to be in the lottery. So, like, I don't mind that type of trade. You get Cam Johnson, who's a really good scoring defensive player. So, like, it's not like it's an option that you're not going to get some type of return on. You know what you got in Michael Porter Jr. He's just shooting. That's it. Nothing else. At least
rebounding. He provides some rebounding
when he wants to, but when he got a shoulder injury, he was not in the paint. I don't know if you noticed that in the playoffs this year, but once he hurt his shoulder, he stopped going into the paint for rebounds.
I want to get the exact numbers, but I think I love it for both teams. based on what both teams are trying to do here. The Nets are still in no man's land trying to figure out what they're going to do. They struck out the lottery this year. They didn't really get a game changer on their roster. They're clearly headed for the tankathon again this in 2025, 2026 season. To pick up a first round pick unprotected, like an unprotected first round pick is awesome.
Yeah.
And 6 years out, who knows what will happen, right?
Go ahead.
Both guys have 2 years left in the deal. So like for the Nets, mission accomplished, get more assets, whatever. You had cap space, you weren't going to spend it, just bring in the extra salary. I want to get the exact figure, but I think the number was something like a 17 to $18 million difference in salary between Cam Johnson and Michael Porter Jr. So the Nuggets were one of those teams pressed against the second apron. And to get some of that salary cap relief is super helpful. And not only that, I think at this point, they're pretty much equal players. Like they provide slightly different things, but you're not really losing out on moving Michael Porter Jr. Cam Thomas is still an excellent 3-point shooter. And like you said, he was known as a good defender, a good wing defender. So you're getting some extra defense. You might be losing some rebounds if the Nuggets, but like they already have an embarrassment of riches in rebounding just with Nikola Jokic by himself. So it's a really, really savvy move for the Nuggets to win now. And I would say this might be the move before the move for them because, again, opening up $17 million in cap space gives them a little more flexibility going forward into free agency.
You keep confusing me. They got Cam Johnson,
I
not
keep saying
Cam
Cam
Thomas.
Thomas.
Yeah. I was like, wait a minute.
My bad. I keep doing
No,
that.
you're good. You're good. Because like in my mind, I was like, Cam Thomas is the
It's a sharp. Is a
is
shooter.
the shooter. Yeah. Cam Johnson is
Well,
like
I'll be referred.
a 3
Cam
and D
Thomas
wing.
is the chucker.
Yes, exactly. They both shoot the ball, so I'll give you that.
My bad.
But Cam Johnson, he's more of a defensive. Like
3D. He's a traditional 3D.
yeah, he's a 3 and D wing. Like that's more of his position. Whereas Cam Thomas is a shooting guard.
You know what he reminds me of?
Just shooting.
He reminds me of a little bit of maybe a better version, but when KCP was on the Nuggets for that run, like that type of 3-and-D sort of mold that really worked well with the Nuggets.
I don't mind that. A little taller, obviously at 6'8". I think you get more of like a Brandon Ingram style scorer out of a Cam Johnson, not quite Kevin Durant, which we all know people call Brandon Ingram a poor man's Kevin Durant, like long, lanky, pull up, that type of scoring. But he is he's a better defender than Michael Porter Jr. So I do like that.
Yeah, I like that for them.
I was joking. I was laughing because you said, "Oh, get as many assets as you possibly can if you're the Nets, right? Like get all the draft picks." And in my mind, in my mind, I was just like, "Yeah, like get as many first round draft picks as you can, as long as you don't end up like that team from this past draft that had, I think, 4 first round draft picks and got nobody." Oh, wait a minute, that's the Brooklyn Nets. It's like they did the same shit. So like, get the assets. But you can't strike out on the draft picks that you got because, okay, we'll get into the draft, but like they got them, the 4, and then every single one they used, they missed.
I hated their draft
Every pick, I was like, that's who you got? All right, man. Like, if it works out, it works out. But you had damn near rookie of the year from Duke on the board when you just need something as an anchor to fill seats, and you took somebody from BYU. Like, what are we doing? But again, let's talk free agency.
Yeah, they're getting more bites of the apple. Also, what do you think about DeAndre Ayton? So he got released. I knew that was going to end poorly for him. I don't know how did they get Ayton anyways. He ended up more than a what trade? Yeah,
he wanted out of where was he?
It was a 3-team trade with the Suns, the Portland Trail Blazers. Was he part of the Damian Lillard trade?
Let me double check with that.
He may have been part of that big Damian Lillard trade, actually. But it was going to end poorly there. He barely played the second half of last year. Do you remember what happened last year, actually? That he
was a part of the Lillard. It was him, Yusuf Nurkic, Grayson Allen, that whole deal to get Ayton to Ayton to Portland, Dame to Milwaukee, Nurkic and Grayson Allen to Phoenix.
Okay. Yeah. I remember last year, he was the guy who missed a game. Do you remember why he missed a game? Because it was icy.
Yeah, he couldn't get out of his house. Yeah. I remember that.
There was some crazy shit I heard about, actually. Just a little tangent.
I know we probably can go down a rabbit hole. I won't, but I'll just make a quick nugget because you said that you're doing the 2K errors thing. Have you ever read like some of the tweets from
Yeah, they're
people that get
they're
injured?
wild. They're wild.
It's very similar to this. Like DeAndre can't get out of his house because it's icy outside. Day to day, that's an injury.
The DeAndre Ayton Portland saga is so bizarre. I'd love more information. I also heard today, this first time I've heard it, that he had been complaining about back issues when he was with Portland, DeAndre Ayton, that is.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, when he moved to Portland after the trade, he was sleeping on an air mattress for 4 months and was complaining about back issues because he was sleeping on an air mattress.
So he didn't want to stay.
Bruh, are you
He
serious?
wanted no part of being in Portland.
So anyways, that saga finally ends, which it made sense. They had like 7 centers on the roster after the draft. He is now a free agent. That will be interesting, right? Because there were a couple teams, like I think everyone wants to pencil him into the Lakers. I would say not so fast, my friend. Right? I don't think it's a good fit for the Lakers, first of all. But secondly, right before he kicked off, we just saw that Brook Lopez changed teams. Where did he go?
He went to the Clippers.
So I'm looking at that opening at center. Like that could be a spot for Ayton. I'm pegging Ayton as in a Buck going forward or a Laker. If he was a Laker, D, how would you feel about that?
It's one of those like, all right, we just have to take that center now because the targets that, as much as I could care less about him, because I mean he's good, but a little bit overrated in my eyes. Brook Lopez is a great shooting big, defending big.
Shooting
That
is like midi,
yeah,
low boast.
I think that would have been the perfect fit for Luka. If you were looking for it, the way that he plays with the PNR pop, or you can get Luka to the downhill. That's what I'm saying.
The
If
thing
you went to the
is,
Lakers, well, let me finish.
who went to the Lakers? Ayton?
Huh? Nobody has. No, but I'm
No, but
saying
you think Ayton would be a good PNR guy?
no.
Okay,
I said
I'll shut
Lopez.
up.
I said Lopez. Sorry, but he ended up going to the Clippers. The next option would have been Capella, because Capella's more athletic. He's not a shooter, but he's an athletic big that we know when he had Lively and when there was another big that was in Dallas. I can't remember. Yes, he was throwing lobs. And that helped because he could drive and throw, or he could drive, step back, shoot. Now that Ayton is really the only one left, you kind of have to find a way to get him on your roster because you need a center. You can't go into, unless you're going to sign Dwight off of free agency. You can't go into the next season and you've already lost their center that they had last year. I know he really wasn't a center, but like the guy that I tried to
Jackson Hayes, hype him up.
I tried to hype him up. Like when you're on the team, I'm gonna hype you up. And he couldn't do it, right? Like we saw what he was. You have to find a way to get the last piece, which is a DeAndre Ayton, but I don't like that fit at all. I think he's a ball dominant center when he's not really a dominant center. He gets the ball in the post and he can get you a couple of shimmy shakes and a hook shot, but that is not the way that LeBron, Austin Reeves, or Luka Doncic play. So like you get the body if you even get him, right? But if you get the body, he's just there. He doesn't help your team.
Yeah, I feel like Ayton's one of those guys because he has a name, right? He was the first overall pick. People will remember his time with the Suns going to the finals. Like he was good in that series for the Suns. But he's really fallen off. And again, like you said, he has a very selective game, right? He wants to do his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want to be malleable and kind of adapt to the system around him. I think that'd be a horrible move for the Lakers. That might happen, right? He'll provide rebounding if that does happen. I will say this, like just to defend Ayton a little bit, he will be going into a situation where he needs to now fight for a contract, right?
No, he needs to fight for his way of staying in the league.
Right, but he's a young guy. He can't be more than 26, 27 years old at this point. I know he looks like he's 50, but he can't be that old. And my point is like he needs to start thinking like I need to bust my ass this upcoming season to get that next contract, like a 3-4 year contract, or before I bust out of this league. So maybe he has some upside, but yeah, I don't love the fit for the Lakers. I like that. Kevin threw out Washington. I don't know what Washington's cap situation is, but like a team like Washington, like Kevin threw out the bag, where it's like, hey, I can just eat here and get my numbers and look good, and maybe someone will pay me. So I could see that. I do want to actually pivot and talk about a team that was pretty aggressive in free agency.
Oh my goodness!
I don't know if you know where I'm going with this, but not signing outside players, but signing their own players, like re-signing players. Okay. And wherever you want to go next.
When you said aggressive, I was going to go with one team, but I'll let you take the mic for it.
Yeah, this is gonna be like a weird show where we just bounce around everywhere. But the Minnesota Timberwolves, I
Okay.
kind of didn't see that coming. I thought going into this offseason that either Nas Reed or Julius Randle would be staying, like one of the two, not both, but both re-upped. Um, Julius Randle 3 for 100, Nas 5 for 125. Happy for Nas. He came up from like playing G League minutes, two-way contract to making 25 a year. How do you feel about those contracts?
I like them because of where they are. They know what they need pieces wise. They just got to find shooters to stretch the floor. That's it. I don't like bringing back Gobert, but Julius Randle proved that he can be a 1B type of player, maybe a 2 on a team. He had some really good games in the playoffs, so I'll give him that. Nas Reed is a 6 man of the year / another third best scorer on the team. So like he's a great role player that you need to have on your team. Michael Conley is obviously going to retire, so you got to find somebody that can distribute the ball outside of Ant. But you have your three. Not that the league has a big three, but you have your three that you can go, all right, these are the guys that we can rely on that can bring us to where we were, which is conference finals, right? Like they're not too far off. They have one of the best players in the NBA in Ant Edwards. So bringing back a core that got you as close to the NBA finals back-to-back years as they have, I don't see a problem with that. That's not like one of these 30, 35-year-olds that are saying, let's run it back when the window's closing. No, they got some youth. Not saying Randall's the oldest out of all of them, but you got Ant, who's a potential MVP player. So I don't mind those moves to bring him back.
Yeah, I don't hate both of either of them. Julius Randle, he basically took like a $500,000 pay cut. I think he was getting 30, 31, 30, 30 and a half last year, but it's extended out. He got a couple extra years. The thing about the Randle contract is this. He was well worth it the first two rounds of the playoffs, right? But in that Western Conference Finals, he fell flat in his face, and people were like, "Oh, he just dropped the bag." At 30 million a year, like, okay, if they let him walk, they're really not going to be able to use that money very well. Like they have a middle level exception at that point, right? You get like a $15 million player. Give it a chance. Like 30 million is not a ton, and if it goes poorly next year,
Ship him.
2 years, 60 million. That's a very movable contract, and you have that now as an asset to trade in the future. The Nas one I actually am less high on, which
Really?
hear me out.
25 years, not a lot.
I like Nas. Like I like Nas. He can play the five. He can slide and play the four. He can play with any big, more or less, because of his shooting ability. 25 is not a lot. I agree with you. I thought it was really good until I think it was Tim Bontemps or Tim, from the Hoop Collective
Okay.
made the point today. And I was like, huh, is Nas Reed like how much better is Nas Reed than like let's say a Bobby Portis?
I think they're equal.
Bobby Portis got 3 years, 44.
Milwaukee's cheap.
I'm just saying that puts that in perspective. Like,
Yeah.
I like the 5 for 25, but then like when you see a player that you could somewhat switch out for him, it's like in
But is
getting
it out there? That's the question. Is it out there? Because
right.
he also knows his worth of a 6'8", 6'10" wingspan, 3-and-D wing. That's the one of the best role players in the league. He knows his worth to be like, yo, I don't want to be paid like Bobby Portis. I want to be paid like Nas Reed, or I'm gonna go somewhere that will pay me like Nas Reed.
I don't hate it.
Right. I know what you're saying.
I'm wondering if they could have negotiated that down a little bit.
No, the same way that Austin Reeves isn't going to negotiate down with the Lakers.
It does put them in a tough spot though, resigning both of those guys. Because now they're pressed up
Anybody
against
else?
the second apron, meaning they're probably not going to really make any more moves. They're going
Oh
to lose.
yeah, you sure about that? Because this made me go, As weird as that is to think, Mike Conley's going to be
Well,
done.
people
right?
on the podcast can't see what
Oh,
you're.
okay. Well, let me show you this. So great notice from a Mr. Andrade is Adande. So Andrade is Chris Paul. Not to say that he can't take vet minimums, but like he's the guy that's trying to push people over. And the Spurs made it like known they're not getting rid of Castle, right? Like they were like, he's not leaving our team. which means he's going to get more minutes year 2, which is going to fade minutes for someone like a Chris Paul. So if you had the ability to get that type of player, an older Rondo type, veteran, Rondo helped push the Lakers over in the finals. Someone like a Chris Paul does help a Minnesota Timberwolves.
I like the idea of Chris Paul with Mike Conley just to spell each other so they can split minutes. Like saying that one will come off the bench, one will start.
Mm-hmm.
So they can both play like
Well, I don't think that
18, 20 minutes a game, both of them. I do like the idea of the Timberwolves now. They got Rob Dillingham. They traded up last year's draft to get Dillingham. And now there should be more minutes in theory going forward for him. So
I feel like he's not going to see the floor for some reason.
I think based on their cap situation, they have to find him minutes to get him more accustomed because like going forward, they're going to need contributions from a guy like Dillingham if they want to make this thing work. It's interesting though. They're going to lose Nickeil Alexander-Walker. They're not going to be able to pay him. He's going to get something like $14 million. I'm hearing, which I know it is what it is.
Bobby Portis.
Yeah, but like good for him. He was barely in the league fringe.
Mm-hmm.
The Timberwolves are going to be interesting. I think they took a step back as far as the hierarchy in the West, unfortunately for them. I think what Denver is doing is just propelled them above the Timberwolves. Like I have to look at the full Western standings, but like to me, like they're no better than the 4th best team in the West now, and they're kind of handcuffed.
Well, that's where they finished this past year. They finished 6th. Yeah, I don't think the Wolves are a team that you have to worry about standings.
My point is like if you're the Wolves and you're pressed up against the second apron and you don't have many, like what's the word, bullets in the chamber, right? You don't have many more options. You don't really want to just be like, we're the 5th best team at this point. Like
True.
Yeah. It's
look at it this way, especially money wise, because I think the biggest one that you were talking about is Naz Reid. What other move out there do you think they would have been able to save money and get just as good of a player? I don't think there is one. That's what you got to think about.
Like free agents, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like if you look at the names of a 3-and-D wing with 6'10" wingspan, that's huge. That's huge in the league nowadays. Everybody wants a wing that can cover 2 through 5.
I do have an idea.
Yeah.
I would have wondered would there be now it's too late now, but would there have been a hypothetical situation where they could have moved off of, I know they love the guy, Jaden McDaniels, who's just like a phenomenal defender. His 3 can be like really good, but it can be bad. He doesn't probably provide much offensively. Could they have moved off of that guy and signed like a Dorian Finney-Smith for half the price?
If so, but I don't know what the league's market is for him because of his.
He's getting paid like $35 million a year. So
yeah, Speaking Valley also. Well, 35 is a very high contract for somebody that's got a high variance, like you say.
Though. He's good. I'll give him.
He can be. He definitely can be. The route that I was going to go when you were saying aggressive, just I guess there's plenty of different topics that we can go. Is my goodness, Houston is taking.
Oh yeah,
they have. I mean that getting Capella helps, but getting Dorian Finney-Smith. We were just talking about 3-and-D wings, along with bringing back Fred VanVleet, trading for KD. Like, they are him. Let's just say this. Ime Udoka has a squad just like he had a squad in Boston.
This team's disgusting. Like, legit. Like, there are some teams, like the Celtics last year, where you look at the Celtics top eight guys, and you're like, this team's nasty. But when you get to 9, it's like, oh, it's getting a little gross. 10, nope, don't want to play you, which is fine, right? Because you only play 7, 8 in the playoffs, but it gives you very small wiggle room for injury and stuff.
Right.
This Rockets team, I can go down to number 10, 11 on the depth chart and be like, this dude could play for this dude could start for 6 teams in the league.
I mean, again, NBA is always going to find money somewhere. But they were the 2 seed last year, and just what you mentioned with center depth and how good Alfred Şengün was and can be because of people behind him. He's got Steven Adams to spill him, and now he's got Clint Capella to spill him. Like those 3 could just revolutionize the 4 and 5 spot for them. And now KD is back to playing the small forward 3 position. Holy shit. Like that's MVP KD. Now he's up towards 40. So I'm not saying that he's gonna win MVP, but when KD doesn't have to be down low, taking on, I'm just throwing out names because of people in his position, like a Giannis Antetokounmpo, right? He doesn't have to take on a Julius Randle. Like he doesn't have to take on those bodies. He can take on an Austin Reeves playing the three, a Jaden McDaniels playing the three. You know what I'm saying? Like he has much more of a favorable matchup on the offensive side when you have three big men playing the 4 and 5 behind you.
I also like the idea of like mentorship and
I'm not even talking about Jabari Smith still there?
I was gonna say he just got re-signed.
Like, good
What
God.
was he got? Well, let me get the exact number. 5 for 122, so less than Naz Reid.
KD does not have to play the 4 this year. He's legit
Jabari,
going to be the 3.
yeah, probably.
Oh
Which
my
is great.
goodness.
Yeah, like they re-signed Jabari. I got to find out all the guys they re-signed. They obviously renegotiated Fred VanVleet at like half the price. But I just love what Houston has done in the past 3 years.
Yeah.
Right? They trade away Harden, they're a bleak franchise. They're rolling out Jalen Green just chucking up 50 shots a game. They're rolling out oh god, who's with the Bucks now? Michael Porter on no, Kevin Porter Jr. They're
Kevin
rolling out
Porter
like
Jr.,
guys
yep.
like that. Just a complete shit show 3 years ago in Houston. And they methodically got young talent, and they brought in veterans, starting with last year, bringing in the Fred VanVleet, bringing in more veterans now, bringing in a Kevin Durant, bringing in a Clint Capella, having a Steven Adams come in, which honestly seems super insignificant at the time, but like bringing in adults to take this young talent and help foster like a winning environment. This is just a masterclass in team building by the Rockets. Not on the level of the Thunder, but similar to what the Thunder have done as far as like creating a culture. And yeah, the Jabari Smith Jr. re-signing, he has been disappointing. Like he was the number 2 overall pick, 2021, 2022.
Something like that, yep. 2022.
Disappointing, never really popped, right? As like you're the number 2 overall pick, you're going to be a franchise, anchor. But I will say this: he's still very young, and you're bringing in a guy like Kevin Durant. You're bringing in a guy like Dorian Finney-Smith, who has a similar body type, right? And he models his game after Kevin Durant. Like you could see this guy in 3 years actually reach his potential with some of these adults in the room. I love everything Houston has done. In fact, I don't know if I told you at the beginning of the show or offline. I low key think Houston should be the favorite in the West now.
You said it offline. I'm still not ready to hand that
Oh
away
my
from
god! I
OKC
forgot
yet.
about Amen Thompson.
Yes.
Oh my
This team
god! This
is
team is
incredible.
absurd, man. Who's coming off the bench for them?
I don't know. I mean, he may handle that, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be Fred, Amon, KD,
Jabari and Şengün?
No. Şengün's going to be the 5, but Tari Eason. They're going to go back and forth.
This team's absurd, man.
Insane. I was saying you have Jabari Smith's contract. I don't know how many years he got out of it, but he was the number 3 in 2022. He's 22 years old. Like he still hasn't even tied his shoes yet in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? So like if he finds a way to
I gotta check the odds.
Get his like game to be more like a Kevin Durant, there's your anchor that's alongside of Amon Thompson. Like in Şengün for the next 5 to 10 years. So who knows? Like I said, I think Houston has 100% one post, NBA Finals movement, off-season movement, transaction-wise, because this team is going to be scary good. As long as outside of injury, we don't wish that on anybody, obviously, but outside of injury, on paper, their roster is the best in the Western Conference.
They're awesome, man. I mean, the Thunder still have
the best team. Because hey, with baggage or luggage, there's skeletons in that motherfucker. Kevin Durant has not been best on the last 3 teams that he's gone to post OKC. Brooklyn got injured. Foot, if he were size 11 instead of a 22, maybe it's a championship. We saw what the hell has gone on in Phoenix, obviously, post that. Hopefully, something comes here in Houston because, like, I said 3, I meant 2. The last 2 have not been really good for Kevin Durant, unfortunately.
Houston Rockets in the West to win the Western Conference. What do you think their odds are to win the Western Conference?
What's OKC's?
Plus 150.
Houston's plus 250.
Plus 450. I'm taking that bet.
450? Yeah.
Taking that bet, man.
I mean, I might have to throw some bread on them. Let me crack open the FanDuel. Ooh, not FanDuel. Might have to go to we won't get rid of sponsors on this, but FanDuel, shame.
Oh no.
Shame on you,
Shame.
FanDuel. You even heard about what's going on?
No.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'll go down.
Do you want to talk real quick on Malik Beasley?
No.
See what happened with me?
I'm not wasting any time on people betting on sports. And like when you watch videos of like what's happened with him, you're like, come on, man. Like you can't make it this obvious.
I will say this. I know everyone's like assuming he's guilty already.
Oh, 100%.
Like everyone, it's funny because as soon as this breaks, everyone's gonna go through the highlight reels and find any type of like weird shenanigans. Like they'll pick up one play from like 3 years ago. Like, yep, he was definitely influencing bets. They did the same thing with Terry Rozier.
Mm-hmm.
Terry Rozier was actually
still in the league.
He was cleared this week of those charges, or
Good.
not charges, but he was never charged. He was cleared of the investigation.
Cool.
So I'm just saying, people want to like.
I mean, I think it's hilarious.
Immediately.
The clips that I've watched are just like,
oh, yeah.
There's one of them where he's at the free throw line and he looks up at the score at the time. He gets the rebound off the miss and they made the bucket.
I saw that.
And I think the cover was 7.5.
Yeah, I saw that.
So it was 8 with that free throw. He got the board and sprinted the other side of the court and got a dunk. It was like, whew, thank God.
Yeah.
You're like, when you see that, you're like, the eye in the sky don't lie, big dog. But
I know.
I don't. I hope I wish I don't want somebody to get in trouble, obviously. But it's just funny. I see that shit. I'm like, hey man, if you put money on it, we know LeBron's doing it. LeBron's been doing it for years. But
how the fuck do we get to Malik Beasley? I don't know. But shout out to the Rockets organization because I've been a Magic fan for a long time, and I lived through 10 plus years of just shit basketball. Like we're finally building something now. But for most franchises, it takes like 7, 8, 10 years to go from bottom of the barrel back to being a contender. The Rockets flipped this thing in 3 years.
There's 2.
Yeah, 2-3 years. It's outstanding.
Last year, I have to go look at our beginning of the season, but I said something about Houston, and you were like, no, they're not ready. And I was like, Ime's got something cooking over there, and here we are.
We're 20 minutes in the show, and I've been remiss to ask you, dude. Your team had a big free agent resigning.
Resigning
back, baby. He's opted into his contract.
Again,
you're so mad about that.
I'm not gonna. Yeah, I get it because I go off for 30 minutes on this. I'm never gonna be upset at somebody getting their money. I will get upset at what you say, and when you say I'm here to help, I'm here to win a championship. You cannot say that statement after opting into a $53 million contract, knowing that it handcuffs you as a team. So, like, if you're going to do it, LeBron, get your bread. I'm never going to – that's generational wealth for when you're gone, your kids are gone, and your kids' kids are gone. The James family still has money. So I respect that. But miss me with you want to win a fucking championship and you take up 55% of the salary cap on the team. No, you don't. Like, just be selfish and say you're selfish. It's okay. 20 years in, you don't owe us anything. We got a championship. I'm happy. But don't fucking tell me you want to win a championship and take up $70 million like as a player option when you had the ability to be like, all right, maybe I don't want I don't want 90 mil, but like I'll go to like 30 and then make up, throw me the bag, Wes's family, the Bus's family, throw me the bag like undercover, nobody will know. Something, but no, he wants to win a championship but be one of the highest paid players in the league. No, he fucking doesn't, dog. Just be selfish and say it. Because we can't do shit else. You got a conspiracy theory. We can't do shit, but go ahead. He's getting fucking traded, but nobody wants to trade for a 40-year-old contract that's $90 million. Like, it gets higher. That's how aggravated I am, is that every time I talk about it, it's just going to get even more and more.
I can't even get my conspiracy up. You're just so mad. So mad. D, what if I told you the only team with any cap room this offseason was the Brooklyn Nets? What if I told you that teams have been gearing up for the offseason of 2026 to get a Luka Doncic. He's no longer on the market, my friend. Teams have been moving the cap and moving their cap and moving their books. Well, D, if Mr. LeBron James decides to opt out this offseason, he's shit out of luck. If Mr. LeBron James decides to opt out and renegotiate for 2 years, he's done. He's a Laker for life. D, what if I told you this was the move before the move? Mark on your calendar, D. LeBron James, offseason 2026. New team, one last ride, collision course. D, I think he's coming home, man. One more run with the Cleveland Cavaliers to try to cap off his career. I think he's done. I think this opting in for LeBron indicates two things on a serious note. Well, three things. Number one, he's done with the Lakers after this year. This is his last year for the Lakers.
Yes.
He's either retiring after this year or he's going to be a free agent, one last ride, another team, $10 million, $15 million, whatever it is, to try to win a championship.
Yeah, he's pissed off. He's pissed off that we traded for Luka Doncic, apparently, and he wants to get, I don't know, some type of retribution. Yeah, thank you. Let's change the fucking topic, Talks. Appreciate you. Yes,
that was the most Bulls trade of all time. By the way, it Talks. The Bulls just be making 1-for-1 trades that just you look at and you go, okay.
We have said for years that the Bulls are in the worst middling position in the history of sports, where they don't want to be no, we're sellers, we're trying to rebuild, but they also don't want to be no, we're contenders, we're trying to win a championship. They just go, let's just fucking put people out there and let's just play ball. If we go 41-41, we're happy. If we go 38-44, we're happy. If we go 44-38, we're happy. That's what the Chicago Bulls are. They don't know what the fuck they're doing as an organization. Hear me out. This is the first time in the history of sports that you made a trade for people what was the guy that you got from your team? Vucevic, DeRozan, Ball, and who's Levine, right? They got four, not max level type guys, but they got four middling guys, right? Four good contract guys. And then when they got rid of them, they got zero assets for them. Not a single draft pick in the league, where we got people going for 10 first rounders and 17 second rounders for Mikal Bridges. The Bulls got not a fucking single draft pick for any of the players that they traded for, which is crazy.
The Bulls, here's the thing, right? They get rid of Lonzo. I actually like this better for the Cavs, to be honest with you, because Lonzo's contract was shitty for the Bulls. Because he got when he signed, it was great, but then the injuries happened. It became
chronic.
It was amazing. By the way, it was shout out to Lonzo, because it's amazing that he came back and played last year, and he's 100%. Actually a good player when he played. Shout out to Lonzo, but they traded off a contract with 1 year left for a guy, Isaac Okoro, with 2 years left, and Isaac Okoro is Isaac Okoro. He's an okay defender, and
that's it.
That's about it. So I don't know what the Bulls are doing. I never will understand. It would make more sense it would have made sense if you were the Bulls to get rid of Vucevic last year, let Lonzo's contract expire, clear the books, start young, start new, build up. But here we are. And for the Cavs, while Lonzo was injury prone, they're going to be without Darius Garland for 1-2 months into the season because he's getting surgery. Lonzo's not going to be expected to play 30 minutes. They will have a bench point guard to come in and spell for 15 to 20 minutes a game. That's all they need him for. And it's good. It's a team that wants to win a championship, adding some point guard depth. I love it.
I love the player Lonzo Ball when he's on the court. I love the fact that he's a great two-way point guard, incredible mind when it comes to passing.
On the stage.
What's that?
I didn't put the comments on the stage. Shout out to listeners.
The comments are going crazy. We appreciate you guys in here today. I like when Lonzo's playing, he's really good. I'm not going to say he's great. I'm not going to say he's a number one option, but he's really good. He can help. At the point in time when this trade went down, the Bulls were, I think, they were either the 1 or the 2 seed when he was healthy that first year. And it was halfway through the season, and then he got hurt And since then, that team has just nosedived because they don't have, Kobe White's tried to step up, but like Lonzo Ball was carrying that team offensively and defensively. So if they can get something out of him, I would respect it. I would love it because I love, again, Lonzo Ball, the player. I would take him on the Lakers as a point guard if we had the chance. But he's just, the knees, man. The knees, they can buckle up at any point in time. Once you told me that it was bone on bone, I was like, yeah,
Ooh.
that's GG's for him. What happened?
I like this. So we were talking about Nickeil Alexander-Walker
Yeah.
earlier, that the Wolves would not be able to re-sign him. He just got signed and traded to the Hawks, which I like that because the Hawks, again, you have a Trae Young centric team. You know
Mhm.
you're going to have offense. The one thing with Trae Young has always been the guy's a traffic cone,
Yes.
right? They add Porzingis. They have two excellent, tall, lengthy wing defenders in Jalen Johnson and
Your boy.
yeah,
Now you can't remember him.
yeah, I
The
know.
guy that you said that had like the shit ton of
Great Area
steals.
Thief.
Yeah, a
Is
bunch of steals. I can't remember his name
they,
though.
they add Nickeil Alexander-Walker, another
Something
good
Daniels.
Dyson Daniels. Thank you.
Thank you.
They add Nickeil Alexander-Walker, a good lengthy wing defender, another one. Like I like what they're doing in Atlanta.
Well, man, I'm laughing. It's just funny when you see some people like their internet might be lagging behind, or like they're just catching to it. It's like he has a new knee. Talking about Lonzo Ball, so I appreciate you saying.
He's got the Mike Perry special, no knees.
Oh my goodness! Why we dropping names? Because my goodness, that man's talk about gone ACLs. They've been gone since he was 16.
He's my guy. I'm just looking through some of the new the updates. See if I update you real quick. We have Luka Garza to the Celtics. No one cares. D'Angelo Russell going to the Mavericks.
Oh my God!
What's that?
Devin Booker about to sign. Now, what you hear? You probably know this. Supermax doesn't worry about aprons. Is that what that is, or does it?
I mean, you could sign people to whatever, right? Whatever money you give out, you can sign people as long as you have bird rights.
Okay.
But like the money still counts against the tax numbers and the aprons.
Gotcha. Devin Booker's are potentially getting a 2-year extension, 2 years, 150.
Fuck yeah, get your money, buddy.
I mean, he might as well. There's nothing else in Phoenix right now.
Conversation with Devin Booker, just a side conversation.
Yeah.
Like, I like Devin Booker and what he's about. The dude, like, he had his run at being a winner and going for a championship with the Suns. He's happy with being in that organization. Like, you could say, oh, he's happy being a loser being there. He's not going to request a trade. He's happy being that guy and being the face of Phoenix. Like, I like the Devin Booker story.
I think he's quiet, which is good because he's not in the limelight trying to say that he's the best at this or the best at that. The media does that, right? When we were trying to find the next big thing, we tried to hand it over to Devin Booker, calling him Kobe Bryant for way too much. Say, oh, he's the next Kobe Bryant because he scored 80 against or 70 against the Celtics. Sure. But like then he became more of like a distributor. He became like the point guard for this Phoenix Suns team that really was a hodgepodge of players because of the whole Bradley Beal handcuff. He stepped up as the point guard and really didn't become like a dominant scorer as much. So like I respect Devin Booker. And if he's now in that stage of, look, I brought my team to the finals. We came pretty damn close to winning the finals. I'm just here to get my money. And then, maybe after this contract I go somewhere. Phoenix can't be like, oh, screw you. You didn't do anything. No, he did everything he could. It'll be coming up on 10 years if he's there for another 2 post this this contract. Like that's 10 years that you give it to a team. If at that point you don't have a championship, like you got to look at other factors other than him.
Can we just talk real quick on the Clippers?
Yeah, Clippers got a good signing too.
They extend or re-sign however you want to put it, James Harden, so he's there for another 2 years, $80 million. It's fine. What are they going to do, right? Like
you have to take him back. Yeah,
they're trying to like win with Kawhi now. Unless they wanted to tear it down, I get it why they kept him. You're probably going to end up having playoff unsuccess, a failed playoff run with James Harden. But that's fine. The Brook Lopez thing kind of caught me out of left field because they already had Zubac is awesome, man. He was like fringe all-star this year. He got like DPOY votes. Like he's been awesome for them. I don't know where Brook Lopez fits into the equation, right? Because you don't want to cut out too much of Zubac's minutes, and he's not. I don't view him like you say he's a pick and roll guy. I view him more as like rebound stretch guy. So like I don't get the fit. I feel like his talents could have been used elsewhere, but it is what it is with that one. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, what was it? 2 year, 18. We know how old he is. Like, I don't think the days of him being defensive player of the year are there anymore. He is more like a stretch. This guy is coming off the bench. 100%. He's coming off the bench to spill.
Yeah.
But it's gonna help alleviate pressure, because when he's your secondary option, that's a great fit. That's where I see it as. If he's your starter, I'd be like, why would you want to bring him in? Like you said, when you had Zubac, who's fit in extremely well for that team. Zubac's not really a shooter, so that's why I'm saying if Brook is coming in to be your pick and popper, I might have said PNR earlier, but I meant pick and pop because he's a shooter. He's more of the popping big, which will stretch the floor for whoever's that secondary team out there.
I guess I don't see what is in it for you, Brook. Right?
Money.
It's not that much. It's like 2 for $8.
But people might, if he's not getting paid that in Milwaukee, that means that there's no market out there.
Maybe there's no market for Brook Lopez. I would have thought he'd had a little more value than that. Did you see Luke? By the way, did you see my message in the chat? Celtics fans in shambles. Luke Cornett.
Took off.
He got 4 for 41.
Okay, he went to the Spurs. I don't mind that for the Spurs because again, they already got a young core. So Luke Cornett, a stretch big, like people love that nowadays. For Wemby, yeah. So like I don't mind that signing by any means.
I'm trying to see. Did we miss?
Can I go over a low key one that I like because man, you said it. You laughed at me. D'Lo to Dallas. Hear me out. He's not a defender.
They don't need it though. They have a very good front court.
They are getting shooters. So now they have AD. When he's going to come back, obviously. They got Cooper Flag, right? You're going to have, I know D'Lo obviously is going to help them when it comes to stretches. They're going to have, Kyrie's going to come back at some point. This is a good team. I'm not saying that they're going to win the West right away. PJ could step up, obviously. Clay's really not dead yet. This is a good team that they're putting together in the West. I like that move because it's just another stretch shooter that you have while you have Gafford, AD in the paint, and Lively. Like you got really good bigs that you can allow the push defense of you get by me. Well, guess what? 3 fucking 7-footers are down there.
They needed someone to hold
another
on
scorer. Yeah.
Well, they needed anyone, a point guard, to hold on the fort until Kyrie got back. So I like it. Yeah, they're going to be a competitive team. I mean, you're a Lakers guy. You watched a lot of D'Lo, so like if you're good with it, then it makes sense.
When he's hot, he's hot. That's the thing, and that's what you.
Oh, the return of Ty. Let's go.
Yeah, he's back, baby. Oh, he's ready. He's gearing up for Broncos country. Let's ride. D'Lo will get you 25 to 30 like this, but he'll also go off for 10, right? But I don't think he needs to be that guy that goes off for 30. He can go off for 15 to 20 on this team, and they'll be okay.
The last one I just want to touch on before we get to the 5. Yeah. How should I feel about this? Is just for my personal thing. How should I feel? You tell me how should I feel about the Magic adding Tyus Jones?
I mean,
is he any good?
A little guy, unfortunately. Heart type of player, more effort than anything. Good distributor, can shoot the ball. I don't know if he's really
still fire Nico.
I heard that it wasn't even his fault, but he was the fall guy for it. But again, everything's a conspiracy. I heard that he was like, he was told as Luka was on the way to LA, was like, hey, just want to let you know that we shipped out.
He's the president. He should
I know. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. It could be
I don't believe it. I think Nico was on.
He was like, I'll take the fall, but like, just make it seem like it wasn't me. But no, Tyus Jones is an okay signing. Is it going to break the bank for you? No. Is it somebody that's going to get you over the hump? No. But is he a great secondary point guard to have on your team? Yeah. I don't mind that. Didn't you just trade for a point guard?
We just got Desmond Bane. Oh, he's a combo guard.
Yeah, he's a 2 guard. So yeah, I don't think Tyus isn't
a pure point guard. Tyus Jones,
and but the thing is, he's like 6'1", so like that's the problem.
It's all right. Let's just quickly pivot off and go to the top 5. And guys, stay in the chat and help me out here because I'm gonna do a very topical top 5. I want you guys to throw out your opinions in the chat. Let's pivot to that.
Welcome to a segment so unique, so entertaining, and definitely not a rip-off of Frizz's 5. And even if it's a rip-off of Frizz's 5, it's probably way better. It's time to rank some stuff with Trudeau. It's time for Grizz's 5.
All right. So, in honor of NBA free agency, I want to compile a list of the top 5 worst free agent signings in NBA
Okay.
history. We just talked about some of the good signings that happened this year, some of the ones we liked.
So we're trying to kill the mood. Okay.
I'm trying to kill the mood as usual. By the way, this top 5 list of worst NBA free agent signings is brought to you by the summer of 2016.
Okay.
All right, number 5. Los Angeles Lakers signed Luol Deng, 4 years, $72 million in the summer of 2016. You like that one, D? Let me
Hit
give
the fucking sounder. Yeah. That's not even a cheer. You just hit a bing. But yes, I will agree with you on that one. 4 years, 70 something million, something like
72.
that. And he played, I don't know how many games he played, but like he was not on the roster playing
bad.
and still getting paid for like 2-3 years.
He
I
was
was
so
like,
bad.
what the fuck?
He was already falling off before they signed him. And then they
Yeah.
gave him a like, I know 4 for 72 sounds like nothing now in 2025, but that was a good chunk of change in 2016.
Oh, here I got the stats right here because I was like, that's one. If I were to pick one, that's one of them. 82 games in a season, right?
Yeah.
So 8 times 4, what's that? 28, 280, maybe
Put me on the
300.
spot real hard.
Well, I'm just doing 8 times 4. So like we'll just say that it's 32, right? So
Wait. It's
around 33.
88 games, I think.
How many? 280? Well, no, it's 3. Well, 8
248.
times 4 is
248.
32.
Whatever. Luol Deng.
What I'm saying is they had about 330 games and he played 50 of them.
Oh my god.
That's how bad that contract is.
That's
100%
only number
collecting
5.
a check, T.
That's
Yes.
only number 5 on my
100%.
list.
Yeah. Oh my
Um,
God. All right, let's do this.
Number 4, this is 2008. This is so think about 2008 salary cap numbers. My Orlando Magic sign and trade Rashard Lewis, 6 years, $118 million. It effectively destroyed the Magic's ability to do anything around Dwight.
That one's personal for you, so like I can't talk you off the ledge for it. Similar to the Luol Deng one, I think Rashad Lewis was a great player. They went on a run.
He was a great player, but to put it in perspective, he was making at that time Rashard Lewis top 5 money in the league.
Oh, and he was never a top 5
And he was
player.
like the number 3 player on the Magic.
Yeah, he's never been a top 5 player. So if you're going that route, then yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. All right. The rest are also brought to you by the summer 2016. Number 3, the Portland Trailblazers giving a 4 for 70 contract to Evan Turner in 2016. Dog, what? Evan Turner?
Yes, Evan Turner, Kermit the Frog, worse. I mean, he tried, and I'm hoping that you got 2 other ones on there on this list that are similar.
The two are my fan favorites over here.
Oh my goodness! So yeah, I got a couple, but are similar to this fucking Evan Turner one because he fleeced by having, I think it was one good playoff run with
the
Philly.
Celtics. Oh, with
No,
Philly,
with Philly. And then he got that contract off of it, and it's like, oh my goodness.
Wait
He
until
got
number 2 and 1. Number 2 and 1 of the worst contracts of all time.
All right, I'm here for number 2.
Number 2, my Orlando Magic in the summer 2016. By the way, this Orlando Magic team in 2016 was dog shit. And they said, you know what we can do? Change our franchise? Let's give Bismack Biyombo 4 for 72 in 2016. If you remember too, Bismack Biyombo had like 4 good games in the playoffs for the Raptors or something. And they're like, give this man fucking $20 million a year.
What a bag.
Unreal.
Yes, that was a very, very, very bad one. I remember that one too and be like, who?
And
They gave who? That much?
Number 1 worst contract in NBA free agency history, brought to you by LeBron. On the back of LeBron and his Cavaliers, the Orlando Magic decided to give Timothy Mozgov 4 for $65 million.
Wait, hold on. Are you sure?
Yes.
The Lakers signed him.
Are you sure?
I'm 100% positive that Timothy Mozgov.
Okay, was he a Laker? My bad. I might have wrote the wrong name down.
Yeah, he went to the Lakers in 2016. And
Yeah,
that contract was the worst. So I hate to
focus on you. I wrote. Actually, you know what? I wrote it and I wrote the read the wrong one.
Gotcha. But yes, he was that contract. He went to the Lakers. That's the one that I would say is one of the
$65 million for Timothy Mozgov for the Lakers.
Right after the fucking NBA Finals, the Lakers were like, "Oh, we found our guy, Kobe." We're gonna help you out. We found our guy to close out your career. We think he's Dwight, and no, they signed the wrong one. They signed Timothy fucking Mozgov, who again I think stat wise, 4 years. So we did the math. It's around 300 games. He played 54. The worst signing that the Lakers.
Was Lakers. You're right. Yeah, my bad.
No, you're good. You're good. I was like, the one that I would say honorable mention. I'm surprised because a lot of people hated this one post New York. Chandler Parsons.
That one was on. That was on the list.
Chandler Parsons stole money from the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, from the Memphis Grizzlies. He never suited up. Like he legit was like, let me just get my bread, and it's guaranteed, right? Hey, it's guaranteed, right? All right, cool. And like he just sat back, kicked his feet up, and collected a fucking check for 4 years.
Another one that was mentioned often that I didn't have a personal attachment to that was high on a lot of lists. Mm-hmm. Gilbert Arenas, 6 for 111 with the Wizards.
I never understood that one. People call it as like one of the worst of all time because Gilbert
fell off at that point, though.
He did, but he was still the name. I think the number is why people say that. But 6 for I think it was 111. What's that? Less than 20 million a year? It's not
that was back in 2008. True, it's a lot of money.
Yeah, relative, but 18 million a year. I mean, we're talking about Timothy Mozgov getting paid
a little bit behind the bit. I picked funny names too, like Timothy Mozgov, Bismack Biyombo.
It's not even Timothy. You keep saying Timothy. Yeah, with an F. That contract when we signed him. I could probably go back to Twitter.
How mad you were?
You may see like a what the fuck, like me being like, how is this the guy that we spent our money on? And then he didn't play for us.
Just to be fair, if those are watching that don't understand what happened that summer. The salary cap was increased because of CBA. Mm-hmm. And what they're doing now, they're increasing the cap, but they're doing gradually 10% a year.
Instead of saying, you guys go from 120 to 160.
They just said, fuck it. Like, everyone get money. So people were spending money like crazy for no goddamn reason.
2016 was a miserable season.
I'm
2016 and 2016 was so bad.
I'm so glad that this list actually ended up with your team making a dumbass choice.
Yeah. I mean, I was ready for it. I wrote it down and I was like, oh, he hasn't said Mozgov yet. Still hasn't said Mozgov yet. And then you said Magic, and I was like,
my bad.
Missed the big one on this one.
Even the Lakers take L's sometimes.
Sometimes they get the most losses in finals history. What do you mean sometimes?
Thank you for capping that segment.
Yeah.
This will be probably pretty quick. Because the draft's old news now, but I want to just jump on a couple of things that happened in the draft.
Cool.
I'm going to give out my biggest dumbass awards.
This is going to be to a team or a player?
Multiple teams.
Cool. I got a player for you.
The winner for biggest, you're going to say Ace Bailey. I knew it. I know you D too well. The New Orleans Pelicans. Did you see what they did?
Did they trade up for years?
They traded up. They acquired a 23rd overall pick from the Pacers this year. They trade up to 13 with the Atlanta Hawks to draft Queen, right? Which is fine. He's a fine player. They give up an unprotected first-round pick that's the best of Pelicans. Not worse, because you just see worse of best of Pelicans Bucks next year. That's the Pelicans being looking in the mirror and be like, oh, we're good. We got this. You're the fucking Pelicans. That pick, dead ass D is going to be the number one overall pick next year. Watch
that team's going to be that bad.
I don't think they're going to be that bad, but they're not going to be a playoff team. They're going to be a lottery team.
I mean, if somebody gets traded midseason, the NBA is going to rig it so that team gets the number one pick. It's just
yes, we all know how that works. Not to mention, they traded for Queen, which, like, in a vacuum, Queen is a cool, interesting player. He's an undersized big who has passing ability, low post scoring. Not a great defender, not a shooter at all.
Nope.
They're putting with Zion.
Who's like not really this a 4 or 5.
This team makes no sense. And then they go out today. Did you see who they signed today? We didn't even mention it. They signed
Kyron Looney.
They signed
Kevlon Looney, whatever Looney.
So another big center who can't shoot to pair with Zion. What the fuck are the Pelicans doing?
But they still got BI, all right? Like they're doing what they can. They still got CJ.
BI.
They don't have Brandon Ingram?
No, he's on the Toronto Raptors.
Oh, he is. Do they got CJ McCollum?
No, he's gone too. He's on the Wizards.
I don't know what's
I
on.
don't know what they're doing, man. I don't know what Pelicans. You win the award for being the biggest dumbasses of the draft. Oh, also
my
the
goodness.
Nets get second. Honorable mention, second place,
100%.
or
Yeah.
literally walking into the draft with 4 first round picks. And I texted you, DM, like, oh no, they're not going to use those picks. They're going to trade up and get their guy. They don't trade up, and they draft a bunch of dudes who aren't even good.
When they
drafted
so,
Igor, fucking
when they
Toronto from
drafted
Rocky.
Igor from BYU, I was like, hold on. Like, I understand that, like, you want to find needs, right? You gotta need.
Bro,
need,
they have 10 point guards of the roster
no,
now.
hear me out. You got a need on your team. You can trade, you not even trade, you can draft the need. But let me just read off a couple names after Igor got drafted. Colin Murray Boyles, considered one of the best fours in the league. I mean, in college. Cedric Coward, scorer out of Washington State. Derek Queen, right? And hold on. What's that 7-foot dude that dominated college basketball all fucking season offensively and defensively right next to Cooper Flagg? Oh, yeah, Kaman Mullock from Duke? No. We don't want him. We want Igor from BYU. Like, what the fuck was Brooklyn doing on this one? I don't understand it, but that's the reason why they are the Nets.
And then my third honorable mention, and I'll stop after this, I promise. Memphis Grizzlies. Motherfuckers, they trade back with the Portland Trailblazers, and I'm like applauding them. Oh, you got some more future draft assets, like trade back. I love it. I thought the Portland Trailblazers traded too much to trade up and get Cedric Howard. Memphis is on the clock. They draft Hanson Young out of China. This man was projected in the second round. He got drafted 16. What?
Hear me out.
Literally what, dude?
When you think you have...
And they have 4 centers in the row.
Hold on a second. When you think you have the potential Twin Towers, right? We saw how good Houston was when they had...
This isn't Yao Ming. Don't even say Yao Ming.
They had
say it.
Dikembe Mutombo and Yao Ming. Now they have... What's the guy's name?
Hanson Young.
Hanson Young. And Zach Edey. So... Yeah. They got bigs, right? They can do this.
I'll give you this, D.
Get her to pay and do this.
This Grizzlies team with Hanson Young
would be nasty in NBA
Zach Edey would be nasty in 1950. They would dominate the 50s. They would win so many championships in the 50s.
Good for them. Big.
Oh,
I'd say swung and missed all 3 of those teams. Yes.
What I do before you go, shout out Hanson Young. His first interview after getting drafted, like with the team. They asked him through a interpreter, like, what is he looking forward to doing? Like, with this, when he gets to that, like, now that you're an NBA and all this stuff, he says, sleeping, eating, playing my PlayStation 5. That's my guy right there.
I mean, he's one of us. Not he's an NBA player, but he's an everyman. I don't mind that. I like that. Respect it. All right, I won't go too much into it, but like the whole Ace Bailey thing, like, I'm hoping this message isn't going to get to anybody, obviously, but if it gets to somebody and it makes a difference, that'd be awesome. I'm hoping the way that we saw Ace Bailey get handled in the draft is a message to this new age athlete, because you're not that good. I'm telling you right now. Yes, you're that good in college. You're dominant in AAU. You probably put up 70 points in high school. I can promise you Ace Bailey is going to get torched in the NBA right away. Yes. Is he going to get up some points? Sure. He is not as good as he thinks he is when it comes to the way that he presented himself. And I hope he learns from it, because when you just say, I'm not working out for anybody, oh, Utah, I won't be there. When, like, this isn't a movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not the main character. Cooper Flagg is, right? Like, if he was like a number 1 overall pick for sure, then I get it. Like, Zion wasn't working out he didn't need to work out with people. He was going number 1 no matter what. You know what I'm saying? LeBron James wasn't working out with anybody. He was from Cleveland. Cleveland had the number 1 pick. He doesn't need to work out with anybody. We get that. But when you're just like, nah, I don't need Utah's calling me, let me hang up on them. And then Utah goes, you know what? Fuck that. We're going to draft you anyway. And the first thing that they say is, so how do you feel about being in Utah? They got nice mountains. Like, It's not gonna work out. I'm sorry. I hope this
He
sends a
showed up.
message, bro.
He showed up now. He's there
Good.
now.
After he held out already. After he said he
Getting on
wasn't
the team
reporting
playing
camp.
with all the guys. Yeah, I know.
It's annoying, but
I don't
that's
get
just
his
me
thought
being an old
process.
head.
He's like, I want to tank my draft stock so I can go play for the Wizards. Like, when has that ever worked out for anybody?
Just I don't get it. But did you hear that Danny Ainge was a part of the whole shit? Is the reason why he got Ace Bailey. So what was on deck was Washington wanted Ace,
Yes.
right? And Washington reached out to Charlotte to trade for that pick. So
Charlotte wanted Concaniple.
yes, huge. Danny got wind of this
But I was
and
going to draft
said,
Concaniple.
"Fuck that! Hey, Charlotte, go ahead and draft Ace Bailey. I'm taking Concaniple." And then Charlotte was like, "Nah, we're good. We're gonna take Concaniple." They hung up the phone, and then Danny Ainge got Ace Bailey. So not only did he not go where he wanted to go, but Danny Ainge was like, "Fuck that, dude. You're coming to this team. I don't care what you say." So that's good for you. Good for you, Trader Dan. Keep that edge that you had to Boston.
I believe they would have drafted Concaniple though. It had he gone to 5. But
the world might never know.
Utah needs a star. They need someone. And say what you want about Ace Bailey, and I'm absolutely clipping that once he becomes an all-star and an MVP and showing that back to you.
7 years from now.
Say what you want about it. He has that potential, right? To be that type of all-NBA player. I'm not saying he will be, but that's the ceiling. The floor is out of the league. So either one could happen, but they need to take big swings. So I love it for Utah.
I love Dylan Harper. I loved Ace Bailey in college, but if you can't get your team outside of the NIT, you're not that guy.
Facts. All right, D. Good show. I had fun with the free agency stuff, but this went longer than I thought. Let's really do a quick closing takes and get out of here, okay?
The show is coming to an end. But first, it's time to get to anything we've missed. It's closing time. 1 segment, 2 takes. Now go.
All right, closing takes. It's a time for me and D to get off one last take. It can be anywhere in the sporting world, pop culture, whatever we want. D, I'm going to try to keep mine to a minimum because it's a bigger topic that we went on back and forth and earlier in the week, and we didn't get a chance to talk about it on the show, so I'm going to bring it up. I want to talk about ACLs or Achilles injuries. In particular, there's been a lot of memes, online discourse, what have you, following the Tyrese Halliburton injury. We've seen 3 major Achilles injuries this playoffs. Halliburton, Dame Lillard, Jason Tatum. It once was thought of as an old man injury. It's now happening to guys in their mid to late 20s. It's insane. What's going on? Is a big question. Why is this happening? And even not only Achilles, but we're seeing young guys all over the league miss huge chunks. Is the season too long? Do we need more load management? How do we fix this? And I was talking to D about this. I think the problem is systemic, and it starts long before these players reach the NBA. We are seeing kids, 10, 12, 14, treat sports like a profession at a very young age. We see parents pushing their kids to make that dream of making the big leagues, making the association, playing in the NFL, what have you. We have kids training like professionals at a young age, and I've seen it. I've coached club soccer, D, right? I had girls that are 14 with chronic leg injuries from training and playing. These girls I trained, D, we played 5, 6, 7 games a weekend in soccer. These kids playing AAU, 13, 14, they're playing 6, 7, 8 basketball games a weekend. This continual testing of the muscles, testing the ligaments, we're wearing down our kids, our athletes at a young age, younger than we've ever done it in the past. This issue is not going to be solved by moving the games from 82 down to 70. We need to reevaluate how we approach sports. We need to make sports fun again. We need to stop making it a job. Have kids play multiple sports. Stop training 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. Like we're gonna play for the Larry O'Brien at the end of the summer. There needs to be a fundamental shift in how we do sports, and then we'll see this change. But until then, this problem is only going to get worse.
I can agree with you on that one. I know it's a somber one, unfortunately, but it's the way that the games are going when it comes to sports in general. I've also seen clips from like NBA stars giving their 2 cents about this, on how everything is too specialized as opposed to instead of team oriented. Granted, people, I mean, look at what just happened with Ace Bailey, literally. But like everything is specialized where you go into like practice and people have their own individual position drills that they're doing, move that they're working on, and then they do some type of like free throw and then they're done. Like it's not practice where it's like I remember throwing up, on tryout day because we're running sprints and we're busting ass in practice like it's an actual game. And nowadays, everything is load management, everything is player empowerment, everything is, hey, if you don't do what I want you to do, I'm leaving to go somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the I'm not trying to take away the power from the kids in college and so on and so forth, or when they get to the pros, but like that shift is where a lot of these things are coming from, where there's just not a lot of team orientation. It's more individualized, which that's the game now.
Yeah, if you think about some of these ligaments, right, that are part of your body, it's like a rubber band, right? You can keep pull it, you pull the rubber band, it comes back. Pull it, comes back. You pull it 1,000 times, it's going to start coming back a little slower. Eventually, it's going to snap.
Yep.
And yeah, I just think about this way too. Like you've done strength training for football a good portion of your life. You see these professional, weightlifters, these world's strongest men, bodybuilder types. You do squats for 10, 15 years. You get into your 30s, mid 30s, early 40s, you can barely walk. Your knees are toast. And this just overdoing this exercise, these repetitive training sessions with these children all throughout, through college and to their professional career. We're just going to see athletes break down sooner. And it's very similar. One last thing. If you think about baseball, it's an epidemic in baseball as well. Tommy John surgery.
Mm-hmm.
These pitchers are asked to throw harder and faster to get paid, make the major leagues. And they start doing it at a young age. And we're seeing so many pitchers tear the ligaments in their elbows from that repetitive motion over and over and over again. It's tough, man. I don't know what's going to change because we're going to get bigger, faster, stronger, and train harder. So it's interesting.
The athlete is going to always get bigger, faster, and stronger. But hopefully there's some type of shift in training that type of athlete, as opposed to just, like I said, I talked about the specialization. You talked about repetitiveness of the same thing over and over from an earlier age. It's a tough one, but you're spot on with the way that it's taught from youth through professional, which is causing this type of stuff from happening.
Yeah. All right, D, what you got for me?
So not as somber, but kind of like I understand you guys are trying. You don't even have to ISO me on this one because it'll probably be really short. I understand what you guys are trying, but very disappointed in the way that the NBA and their presentation was for the NBA Finals and the NBA Draft, because somebody had put out a tweet and I was like, that's essentially the difference between the two. The NFL Super Bowl is a holiday. It's literally everything leading up to the Super Bowl is a party, the grandest of presentation, and then like the encompassing of two gladiating teams that are going to battle for 60 minutes. Once it's over, we all celebrate whether your team won or you didn't win. Like literally the country is like, we're sitting and watching this Sunday game. NBA Finals had a chance to promote two small market teams, and we heard more about free throws from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, comeback shots from Tyrese Halliburton, but nothing involving the city of OKC that just won their first championship in the history of basketball, or anything from Indiana, who was a team that had never won an NBA championship as well. So I think they fumbled the bag when it came to presenting those two teams for two small markets. And then when it comes to the NBA draft, They're doing their best to be like the NFL draft, which is, again, a fucking holiday, a 4-day holiday, whether it's in Nashville, Music City, whether it's in Green Bay, wherever it is, people go and watch, right? People pull it up on their TV, their tablets, their phones. When you have, this is no slight, but it is not the best of brand. Malika Andrews, I love her. Malika Andrews, I love her analysis on the NBA game. She's great on NBA Today. It's incredible. But Jay Billis, get out of there. I don't care about your college references. You're not Mel Kiper, right? Like, you're not the same. Kendrick Perkins, you swung out when you swung and missed when you bring in a veteran NBA presence to talk about the college players. Like, can't be Kendrick Perkins. Monica McNutt, I know she tried her best. Those post-draft interviews were hard to watch. Like, it's almost like they weren't even scripted as to what questions to ask or what potential answers you may get. And it's like, we had the chance. I'm telling, like, they're going to get it again next year, but it might be 2 large market teams next year. You might see Houston, right, in the NBA Finals. You may see, New York in the NBA Finals, 2 major markets where they're going to put on the grandest of grand. And they don't get this opportunity again. But when you swing and miss with small markets and then you swing and miss with the draft, it's what makes people like the everyman. We're going to watch, me and you, we're going to watch. But the common fan is going to go, I don't need to watch the NBA Finals. Like, I don't care about it. I don't need to watch the draft. Like, I could just look at my phone for who gets picked. And that's when people say the NBA is starting to lose its target audience.
Man, that's a lot to unpack. I actually want to touch on that really quick.
Yeah.
I think one of the problems facing the NBA is the idea that the transactions mean more than the games themselves, which is crazy to say. Some of the biggest moments in NBA history are transactional trades. Yeah. LeBron's going to Miami. LeBron's going back to LA. Luka
is LeBron.
But it's the transactions. People tune in about the drama, right? For the NBA, the transactions, the people. So unless those people that we've made the main characters exist in the finals, people don't care.
100%.
And it's a blight on the marketing of the NBA. It's a blight on how we consume NBA content. And I think that is primarily it's primarily ESPN's fault, because when the decision happened and LeBron happened, we made the NBA all about LeBron for 4 years. That's it. Mm-hmm. And we lost the ability just to enjoy basketball and teams. As far as the draft presentation goes, it was pretty bad. And this is shame on ESPN. They're the one ruining. I mean, they're not the only one ruining basketball. I put a lot of blame on ESPN because they continue to hire people to talk about the NBA who are not qualified and who really don't care that much, I don't think. Kendrick Perkins is my least favorite TV personality in the sports media landscape.
He's up there.
He just yells and shouts. And half the time he doesn't know what he's talking about. He just yells and says the same cliches over and over again. They've had very talented people who care about basketball, and they've just let him go, and they go other places. And again, if there wasn't a 4-letter network that decided it was important to talk about football 9 months of the year, that also might help other sports as well. If you tune into the ESPN now, like today,
somebody's talking about Aaron Rodgers.
You tune into ESPN in February, in March, someone's talking about NFL offseason.
Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys is your first thing. There's very little effort to promote other sports, and I'm a huge basketball fan. It's my favorite sport.
It at least gets up and down the court.
Yes, it at least gets some love on those networks. I feel bad for people who like baseball, hockey. Don't even get a lick of that stuff.
Nothing for hockey. Insane. I didn't even realize that the Florida Panthers were back-to-back champs. Like, I had to research that information.
Yeah.
But,
shame on ESPN.
It's tough that we ended it with these two because we're usually positive, but I was extremely disappointed in the NBA draft presentation. I was like, it's hard for me to watch because this is like the grandest moment for anybody. It also doesn't help that some of these athletes, some of the players didn't feel like they wanted to be drafted in the places that they got drafted. That doesn't help. But one kid got drafted and they had his brothers up there, and they were asking questions to his brothers. I was like, why the fuck are you talking to the family? Talk to the dude that's been working his ass off for 20 years to get to the league. Like, I don't care about your little brother. It's cool that they're there. Like, I get it. Like, you want your family there. But talk to the fucking kid that just got drafted. Why are you asking mom how she feels? She's going to say she feels amazing. What's she going to say? I'm pissed off that he's going to the Clippers. Like, what is she supposed to say? But again, I don't go down the tangent. I just did that. Let's get up out of here.
Well, thank you for joining, everybody. We really appreciate you watching after all that nonsense. Let me get you music, and you can get us out of here right.
Oh man, what a day! Whew, a lot of talking on this one, but I love it, especially when my guy to my left, on your screen to your right, he gets to talk about basketball, and I just like throw the alley-oop for him. Appreciate you guys being in here, especially with the chat today. Incredible amounts of contribution with the chat. We love that, whether it was on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. We love everybody that was commenting today. Please make sure that you hit us up on all of our platforms. FrizzandTheGrizz.com. Obviously, when you get a chance to go on the website, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, podcasts. You're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever it is that you find your podcast. We might be getting close with it being the summertime. We'll let you guys know schedule-wise. We might be on that every other. Just there's not a lot of news out there. We want to make sure that we come in here with a lot of fresh content, not just bullshit, but we bullshit anyway. Please, please, please. It's the middle of the summer for us. Be a friend. Say something nice. Take care of y'all mentals. Take care of y'all physicals. Take care of y'all chicken. Take care of y'all children. And we'll catch y'all on a rebound.
Where are we at in society today? Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40. I'm not a kid.